Good afternoon, Needham staff. Mr. Purley, along with Nurse Tribeca here. All right, so we are going to have a little conversation about all things health related with COVID and with just procedures throughout the building. So let's start with a kid either has a symptom of coughing or anything like that, or all the way to even throwing up. What is the teacher's first step?
They'll need to call me in the clinic. They can use the phone and call me or text me, whatever seems to be the easiest way. I will likely have that student get their things and meet me at a location. Instead of sending them to the office with their things, they always have to have their mask on in the hallway. But I will likely have them meet me outside of the office, and we'll contact parents. They'll either be in the isolation room. I've been told that if it's several kids or a couple of kids, I have more than one person, I can spread them. Maybe in the hallway, I'm thinking like maybe the hallway there by the cafeteria if it's raining. But if it's a day like today, I'm going to have them in a chair outside waiting for their ride.
Okay. So, and then we obviously get somebody to clean up the room and things like that. But even if a kid gets sick, we've got to make sure that the office and Nurse Tribeca know. Your extension is?
Sure.
I don't know. She never has to call herself. It's over there. All right. And then let's see. What else do we have to talk about today? The little first aid kits that are going to be in the room.
So if a kid are in all of your boxes, they should have basic supplies in them. Some things to maybe clean up a little bit of blood. There's all kinds of Band-Aids. Different sizes and things. There's some tooth boxes and some cups if they want to rinse their mouth, if their mouth they like have a loose tooth, whatever. I'm thinking I did not put gloves in there because you're going to have gloves in the classroom. I started to put them in and I took them out because of supply savings. So if there's anything in there that you think of that you would be helpful and I haven't included it, please let me know, and I'll do my best to keep it stocked as you run out of things, and just let me know and I can leave things outside your room or in your mailbox, and we'll keep those going.
Again, that communication of just emailing instead of stopping by to get it, you're going to keep yourself safer by not being in the nurse's clinic, and keep others safer by just sending her an email. Hey, I need Band-Aids, or I need new tooth boxes, or whatever that may be. That we can then put them in your mailbox. It's a little art box with a Red Cross sticker on it. I don't know, I call it a Red Cross sticker, but you're not the Red Cross. Okay, first aid first aid cross. How about that? And those are all in mailboxes. You may have picked them up already.
Specials teachers, only Miss Spalding got one because I think she's the only one staying in her location.
Yeah.
I gave one to Kim Barnett and one to Miss Demery.
Okay, because they'll have kids maybe in their room.
Yes.
Okay.
So everybody should have one.
Okay, sounds good. We are going to be eating lunch in the classroom, and I think I mentioned this in the video I sent out over the weekend, that everybody really needs to be aware and feel comfortable as you can be, with like choking or Heimlich, and recognizing that, what to do, which then also leads us to CPR and people's responsibility, especially certified staff, in keeping their CPR certification up to date.
So 2 things on choking. You should be getting a Safe Schools training video that's sort of a review, and you'll get that from somebody that's not me, probably not Amanda. Those have to be sent out by just a handful of people, so I don't have access to those videos. It should be coming. Let me know if you don't get it. And I've also asked that maybe if we could find an approved, if Amanda could approve a form that if any of you would like to have some kind of a choking poster in your room, just as a reminder, if like sometimes in an emergency we need to think quick, and if it helps to have something in front of you. So I'm working on that too. And then the CPR piece, I know everybody's going to be on their own recertifying this year. So if you can find an online course, I know there's one, I think it's $30 through the American Heart Association. The online course is going to be probably pretty doable to figure out. It's the skills check off. So we're working on, I have actually called a couple of people that I know who might be trained for skills check off or might be able to help us, like get a name of somebody that you guys can call and say, I need to be checked off. It might be at a firehouse or at the hospital. I'm working on that. I called someone there this morning who does clinical ed for nursing. So I'm waiting to hear from that. But if I forget to communicate that, ask me if you need something, and I'll do my best to help you.
Yeah. I did mine just recently. The AED CPR online, it's got to be through American Heart Association. It was only $15.
Oh, really?
Felt like it was a discount.
I looked on there last night. It was $30.
Yeah, last time it was $23. So it's $15, and then the skills checklist. If you know somebody who's certified to do that. I know Bargersville Fire Department is a pretty popular space for here in Johnson County and Franklin. That they sometimes will offer those skills checkpoints.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of AED, our AED machine located outside the cafeteria / gym for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of that CPR training itself, but you keep that up to date, and
Yes.
that's the location of it.
I have to check that off every month as like a equipment check. So it's ready to go. Anybody can use it. They're in public places. They're at my church. I mean, they voice activate as soon as the thing comes open, and then it would guide you along with steps on exactly what to do.
Yeah.
So
and it won't shock you if you
No.
don't need it, so you can't really hurt somebody.
and
with
anybody can open that cabinet. I have a lock. A lot of you maybe have seen me unlock it, but that's so the alarm doesn't go off. But anyone can get in that, so don't feel like you have to wait for it to be unlocked. And if you want to just walk through it with me someday, I can show you.
But don't go up and open it.
Yeah, because the siren will go off. Yes.
We'll kind of continue on here with this conversation. So in the past, we have used for emergency situations over the radio. We use the word code red at whatever location. So you need to clearly announce if you've got a medical situation or a behavioral situation that is extreme. It becomes code red. A mild is a code yellow. Like mild is like we're going to walk your direction or scoot in a relatively
For some people.
safe direction. But then if it's code red, well, then we're going to be, the four wheels ablazing and running to your direction. But if you're out on the playground and you have a intense situation, it's a severely broken arm, it's a kid who's passed out, what information should they share? Code red on the playground.
Code red. I need the nurse on the playground. If you can think of things like bring a wheelchair, or if you could say something minor, like if someone is passed out or is vomiting blood, or I don't know, something like that. I can tell Jamie on my way out, call their parent. That's going to save some time. So, in the past, I know we get nervous when there's an emergency. So, it's easy to leave out information or to maybe feel like we should be protecting people by not communicating things on the radio. But there have been times I have gone to a call and not have what I needed.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to happen. But if you can, like in this particular situation especially, I need the fewer times we go back and forth, and you guys know. So just if it's just code red, I need the nurse, because, in the past that could be behavior, it could be other things. And
yeah, specified
sometimes
nurse.
the wrong person has gone.
Specify nurse and specify location. That's key. That way we can get there, know where we're going. And it's going to be like repeated a couple of times, and then wait for us, because we might ask questions. Do we need to bring a wheelchair? Do we need to bring the AED? Those sort of things. And then obviously there could be a situation where that radio call is going to be important, but also it could be a situation where 911 calls important. So what kind of situations where it's like you're almost doing them simultaneously?
Like if there's a playground incident where it's going to be a 911 call, even though you're going to call me to the scene, I would say probably say 911 call likely, bring your phone, or go ahead and just call 911 yourself from the playground. I mean, that doesn't have to come from me. That call does not have to come from me. The other thing I think that would be helpful is, and it's never happened really, one time last year, is when I get a call to help somebody, if it's urgent, if it's an adult or if it's a child, I think it would be helpful to know that too. So.
Yeah, we had one of each last year,
Mm-hmm.
so that is good to know. Yeah, that goes back to the name. Really, we're not worried about HIPAA and that sort of stuff at that point. We really, it's beneficial to know who we're going to help, because there could be other medical things that
Mm-hmm.
you know about that person.
Mm-hmm.
When you're en route, you're already thinking this is going to be part of the solution or help for this problem. Anything else that we haven't touched on yet?
Just some basics. So, like, it's just the day-to-day care of kids. And I'll stay in contact with you guys about all of this. I'm going to likely be delivering oral meds that might be behavioral meds and routine things door to door. We haven't done morning meds for years. It's been discouraged for years, but it's absolutely not going to happen now. Inhalers only for asthmatic kids. We will not be doing any nebulizer treatments. So I don't know if parents ask if you feel comfortable communicating that. If you're not sure about any of this, send them all to me, all the questions. And we're not giving ibuprofen or Tylenol this year. That's kind of a new thing. The med forms that go home with all of our students, they're green, and they're permission forms for Vaseline, Benadryl, Tylenol, just a handful of things. That's not going home at all, because the idea is if a student needs Tylenol or ibuprofen, they probably have a COVID symptom, and we're not going to mask that. So in the past handful of times, I've gotten kids who come to the clinic, I'm here to get Tylenol. My teacher says I should get Tylenol. We can't do that this year. So I just won't be giving it.
Yeah.
So there would be one or two small, like if there was an injury, an ortho situation, if a kid has a broken arm and their parents want them to have, I have a very small supply from last year. We're not being restocked. So that's something that we might need to get used to. So that headache situation, like if it doesn't resolve, they put their head on their desk, it doesn't resolve in 10 minutes, they're going to go home.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, well, a few differences this year, but some of that standard information that we really need to just be aware of. Anything else?
I think just the door-to-door stuff that if you get to a point that you need to see me or you feel like I need to take a look at a student, I'm going to have a little, I'll be doing some home care, I guess I call it, house calls, door-to-door for everybody. So,
all right,
I'm ready for that.
All right. Well, thanks, Nurse Trebeck. Appreciate your time with us today. Maybe this will be a new little YouTube sensation here. I know Zach Galifianakis or whatever his name is. He has like Between Two Ferns, and it's a talk show, and he has a fern on each side. So I have to think of something clever like that.
Okay.
Maybe something with a mask. If anybody has a clever name, let me know. Just masking it. Just winging it. All right. We'll see you later. Thank you all.